You also need to set up setting up the audio.
Each and every Rishi has talked about each and every
Can you see it, Raj? Everything looking good?
In-person class is actually,
Yeah.
and I see the chair.
so
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I see somebody in blue shirt. Who's that?
That's me. Yeah. That's me. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're good. We'll call you if I need anything.
Table,
Yeah.
table, chairs, everything set up. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing that now.
Suddenly,
Yeah, the video looks steady.
Okay. All right.
Video looks steady. Okay.
All right.
Call me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
talking about
Can I move the table?
Yeah.
Can't separate it.
yeah, I know, that's what
Can you sit down so we can see?
I need to raise this.
talking about
This should be your level. That's the reason. So you study number and go study. Oh, just if you want to read it. Some of it. Because I haven't read much, because that's really.
no, this really has only two right now.
When they get to know.
Multiple Indian languages. I'm also in English. Both chanting and well, very few people know the meaning. So to get the meaning, you really have to have more insight into it. No, that's what I'm saying. Explanation is very hard to do.
That's why Sharon is really, they want to justice to us.
I think on the mic thing, is there any statistical? It seems to be on, but we can't hear it.
As you're chanting, you will realize that
The
there
level
are so
one.
many things which you have already know about it. So they can
The
start learning.
receiver, the receiver, clicking the top arrow to the mic input.
Yeah, I put it in. Yeah, put it in.
Just turn on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Can we straighten it up?
Twisted to the right, it's more square than TV at the back. Right now, it seems to be at an angle.
How about now?
There's a little bit of delay, so I can't see.
Hello, hello. Can you hear that? Excuse me. Can you hear from that speaker?
Speak again.
Hello, check. Let's monitor.
How about now?
It's getting there.
Bluetooth mode.
Yep.
Arun, can you raise, because my head is getting cut off in this picture.
Does it look now? Is it okay now?
Yeah, that's better.
Centered? Yeah, that's good. Right? Can you say something? You check the audio.
Hello, hello. It's a bit too loud, I think. Reduce it a little bit, yes. Yeah. And too soft, a little bit. Yeah, it's very sensitive. Good, good, good. All right? Okay, let's start. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vigvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vishwam Darpana Dishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Ashyanatmani Mayaya Vairivobhutam Yatha Nidraya Yat Sakshat Kurte Prabodha Samaye Swatmanam Evatvayam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namah Shri Dakshina Murtaye. Sound okay? Sound okay. Well, namaste to all of you. Good morning. Nice to be together. So, you know, these in-person classes have two main characteristics. One is that my teaching is more personal because I see you in person and I know almost everybody, and this is a closed group, so there's a certain connection which you cannot have in the online classes. So that's number one. The second one is that this gives us an opportunity for a dialogue, for question and answers, which we cannot have in the online version. So this is the main thing that we want to do. So given that, I propose we do the following sequence today, and we're going to, change it to see what works best and so on. I'm going to start with, so we're about 15 minutes late, about a half-hour discourse on a given topic that I feel I'd like to talk about. About half hour. Following that, we will have a half-hour meditation, leaving us for a good full hour for question answers. If you don't have any questions, or if I don't have any answers to your questions, then I would go back to expanding my discourse. But I think I want to give it plenty of time for discussion and so on. And we can go up to, we have this room until 12:30. I don't know if you have the time to figure out. But the main thing I want to do is to have satsang. And that is the most important thing. So this is my plan. Also, I think we won't take a big break for potty break. You can just do it individually, including myself. I might have to go also, but we'll just keep it very short and not really, because I think last time it was difficult to assemble everybody and so on. Anyway, this is what I'm thinking of. Okay? All right. Good.
Good. Okay.
So based on what we had taken up as the topic in the last class, which we expanded and did a unfolding in the podcasts, 5 podcasts. The topic was the Karika number 5, as you know, Trishu Dhamasu Yat Bhojyam Bhokta Yascha Prakirtitaha Veda Etat Ubhayam Yastu Sah Bhunjano Na Lipyate. So this was the Karika given by Sri Gaudapadacharya ji on the main part of the Upanishad. So this is really like the essence of it all. And I thought this would be a good way to assemble. Let us now focus on the meaning of this verse. What is it really saying, and how does it really help me in my life? So this is what we're going to focus in on today. What it is saying is that if you understand that you are the basis of both the aham vritti and the idam vritti. The aham vritti is bhokta and the idam vritti is the bhojya. In other words, the I thought and the world thought. This is what our life consists of. That's all. In which the I thought is supposed to be constant, but it isn't. And this thought is visibly different. I can accept that. Even now, everything is moving and so on. What the Mandukya Upanishad teaches us, with the help of this is Ishvara's creation. All the Upanishads are apaurushaya, they are not human-made, not somebody's idea. This is part and parcel of the whole creation. This is Vedas, is the voice of Ishvara. What Ishvara wants you to know is that you are neither the I thought nor this thought. You are the basis of both of them. This is a very important thing to understand. So it says in Veda etat ubhayam yaha. The one who knows this, knows how, knows what. That's the bhojyam bhokta. Idam vritti and aham vritti, both of them. Okay, now I'm going to focus in on by asking you a question. Okay? And the focus is this. Why do you think the knowing of a basis is so crucial? Basis also means adhisthana. It also means the basic material of what we are consisting. What are my life's, the changes in my life? What is the basis of those changes? This is called adhisthana, the material, the basic, upadana karanam, various names from it. But let me ask you a question. And anybody that wants to just answer it, please raise your hand, because I want to really focus on this. Why do you think knowing the basis of all changes is important? If you are ready to give me an answer, in fact, there are two reasons. There are two reasons for doing that. If you can give me at least one out of the two, it would be good. If you can give me both, that would be even better. Okay, I'm going to pause. Yes?
One reason could be if you know the basis of material, it helps you know your origination. It's like a wave and an ocean. If you know where the wave is coming from, you know your true basic
Okay.
nature.
So one answer is that if you can know the source of the changes, then this will be helpful. Anybody else? Kalpana?
I would think that once I know that I'm changeless, I'm not changing, whatever is changing is away from me. I am Atma. Everything else which is Anatma, which is changing, which was there, which will not be there in the future, but I will always be there. That will give me freedom from depending on the samsara.
This second answer is a little bit more useful than the first one. The first one is a step in that direction, but this is a more, not quite there yet. You're very close to it. Anybody else? Yes?
In order to see the parinama change, you need adhisthana which doesn't change. Like a movie on a screen. It's the basis.
Yes, that's also true. All these, this is interesting. In advanced Vedanta, all of these kinds of correct answers are still not the one that delivers the goods. And it is not easy to find. I learned that really from Swami Akhandananda. Reading it again and again and so on. What distinguishes? Because he says this. He says, you can study Vedanta all your life and you may have a very good idea about what's Atma, what is Anatma, what is changing, what is not unchanging, and so on. But is that enough for you to really be free? Not really. Not really. Okay. Ronnie?
I am the witness to the changes, and the changes come and go on my screen in a way, but I am not neither the change nor affected by the change.
Yep. All these are part of the correct answers. Chola?
Mind perceives changes, and important to know these are the changes and they are mithya. But to go into unchanged reality, you have to know what are changes.
Yeah, all these are generally correct, I would say that. So let me pause at this point and go on. Here is the real answer. And there are two parts to it. The adhisthana is that place where all of the flickers, which means problems, our life's problems are flickers, disappear. What we are, so this has lots of, and perhaps some of it I will have to go into podcasts to give you all the details, but I'll give you quite a bit of it today. Excuse me. There are several parts to this. By the way, one part of that is the verse that I gave you to answer, and perhaps that's the only one that I would give you the answer for today, because I'm not sure whether you've really given all the questions yet or not, so I'm going to wait for it. But that is a very key one. Na ayam atma pravachanena labhya na medaya na bahushrutena yameva esha vrinute tasya esha vivrute ganusvam. I tell you, I had been studying this for 40 years. Didn't really understand it. But it suddenly, finally dawned on me what's happening. Pardon me. And I thank Swami Akhandananda for this. What it's saying is, are you really interested in solving your life's problems? Are you or not? So this is, I'm just giving you a, I wish I could just give you a quick answer, but I'll elaborate on it. Elsewhere, it is said that Parameshwara is willing to go along with whatever you want to do in your life. That is the nature of the Atma. In fact, I tell you what, this is an interesting, this is a sidelight. The next topic I'm going to go on, which will go for several months, is an understanding of Omkara, which is part of the essence of, we touched in towards the end of the Mandukya, but we didn't get into it. I want to really get into it. Because an understanding of Omkara means Adhisthana. So, Swami Akhandananda says that Ishvara is a very interesting person. He does not prevent you from doing whatever you want to do. If you want to be a troublemaker, Ishvara says, really, you want to be one? Yeah. I want to be a troublemaker. Okay, fine. The reason I'm saying is, do you really want to be free or not? We are not, we really don't. Here's the thing. We seek completeness, but we are seeking in areas that cannot give me completeness. This is the foolishness of our life. So this verse from Mundaka Upanishad says, and studying books, listening to classes, following different gurus, having satsang, all these are okay, but this will go on to the end of your life and nothing will happen until you decide, I want to be free now. Because until then, you know what Ishvara does? He says, He's pretty busy in looking at wrong things, by looking at incomplete descriptions, and part of that is, this is one of my favorite things, the abhimana of scholarship is also part of that. I am doing a lot. I've studied Shankara Bhashya. I'm following such and such guru. I'm learning Sanskrit. Doing a lot. This is all part of Ayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya. By Bahuna Shrutena, by attending many classes, by reciting, chanting, all these are, Ishvara himself is saying it. Ishvara says that, if you're busy doing that, do it, it's okay. But you're not going to be free until you decide what is freedom. And so the second line of this verse is very, very important, that when you decide, I've had it, nothing is happening to me. That was one of the questions I have, is that you've been studying Vedanta for a long time. Do you feel free? I had to ask myself that question. And the answer, if you are honest, is not really. Then what? Is Shastra lying? It's not lying. It says you have to know the Adhisthana. Why? Because that is the only place where all the qualities of changes are gone, completely gone. There's not even a trace of it. And here I tell you one of the things that really, this is what I'm saying, that when you start studying and really with an intent that I want to really get this, then all these other examples, they become real for you, which I've been studying for a long time. As part of this, I'll just tell you one thing. This is part of the Adhisthana. The example of Akasha and the blueness of the Akasha was mind-blowing to me. Not that I have not been studying it. I've been studying rope and snake and this, that, or the other. But it hit me. You know how it hit me? It says, the Akasha is Nirakara. Nirakara. There's no form to it. There's no change to it. All it lacks is Chit Swarupa. It's not Chidakasha, it's just Bhutakasha. But still, it is Nirakara. In the Nirakara, you have Sakara. My goodness. Just those words, just finally I said, oh my goodness. This is what is happening. Another thing that really helped me so much in understanding the value of Adhisthana. We all know through the study of Vedanta that Atma is Sakshi. It's Chaitanya Swarupa. So really the entire play of the cosmos is the interplay between Drik and Drishya. Atma is the Drik, and the world, including your own body, is the Drishya. We know that. But what we need to do, this is part of choosing, this is Vrinute, that the Atma, Drik Swarupa, cannot change. It cannot change. Okay, so you got it? We all know that. Yeah, of course, we've been studying it. Atma doesn't change. Drik Swarupa. Because if the Atma also changes, then we've got problems. Because you don't have a common basis for comparing the changes. Now, in the Drikdishya Viveka, it is pointed out that in the very first verse itself, which is the most important verse of the entire Drikdishya Viveka, Rupam Dishyam Lochanam Drik, etc., Drigeva nat Drishyate. But in the intermediate stage, even the Drik can change a little bit. In the intermediate stage, which is Vyavaharika Sat, but in Paramarthika Sat, eventually it does not change. This is a very important thing, and we will do a meditation on this. I was thinking about it. So I will elaborate on this a little bit more in the meditation. But let me go back to what was very striking to me. And you know, it's interesting, all these words, they are kind of hovering around you. And you have to become very focused and serious. You cannot time share. You cannot task share. It doesn't work that way. You just have to sit down and say, what is going on? And do it repeatedly. Finally, something strikes you. And it struck me, this point that I'm going to tell you. The Atma doesn't change. It cannot change. It is only one Atma in the entire creation. Paramatma, Jivatma, one Atma. Never began, never ends, always is. Very clear. Why do we accuse the Atma of changing? There can be only one reason. You don't know it. You are confused. It's possible in the whole creation. Confusion is a color for painting your life. So I said, oh my God, any conclusion that I have that I am changing, and changing means what? Sukha dukkha. You're happy in the morning and you're upset 15 minutes later. All of a sudden everything was good. This is sukha dukkha. It just plays havoc with your understanding. Why? Because you don't understand that your understanding of the changingness of the Atma is mithya. It is false. So study the falseness of it. How are you going to study the falseness of it? By the adhisthana. And the first thing that will happen is that Ishvara's, what is called anugraha. What is anugraha? Anugraha means a blessing which says, now you are focused on the right thing. Now you choose me. I am complete, you are complete. What you have given me, a kind of a, here's the thing, you cannot fool Paramatma. You can fool everybody, including myself. Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm studying a lot. I'm attending a lot of classes. I'm going to Sailorsburg. I'm doing this. I'm doing okay. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because you don't understand that adhisthana means complete absence of whatever you were thinking of. Complete absence. Not even a trace of it. This is how the blueness occurs. You are the Nirakara. And so this is a very beautiful example because in the beginning, a child is told, is the sky, what color is the sky? He will say it's blue. But as you grow up, you realize there is no possibility of blueness occurring in the Akasha. It is Nirakara, but it does. This is exactly what is happening in the Atma. I am the Nirakara. And now comes the second equally important reason for Adhisthana. The first one is Adhisthana solves your problems. It's not theoretical that, it gives me a better idea. None of that. It's gone. And the reason that you continue to humor it by saying, no, but you know what, I have to live, I have a family, and I have a job, and this is prarabdha, all those kinds of things are humoring it. It's just an excuse, really. That means you're not serious about understanding what Atma is. Oh, no, I'm serious, I'm attending classes, I'm doing all this. No, you're not. No, you're not. Do you know what Atma means? Do you know what it consists of? Do you know where it came from? What is the weight of it? What is the color of it? Have you inquired into it? So here comes the second reason for Adhisthana. The second reason for Adhisthana is all the changes that are occurring cannot be without the Adhisthana. All of the worldly experiences are directly related to the Adhisthana. You cannot have a change in air. You are involved, and yet it is fooling you. You are transferring your own reality of the Adhisthana, your own freedom of understanding, and your anantata, your infinity reason, no changes that you are transferring to the changes. So the changes is borrowing the things from you and fooling you. This is the second reason. And the reason and the way it is, it's not something that you have to read from the books or anything like that. See it for yourself. How? Because all the changes come out of you. They play in you and they come back, they go disappear in you. You don't need any other adhisthana. You are the whole thing. Do you see it? So, as I promised, let's just stop. Even though it's not complete, but at least I've given you an introduction to the main thing, which is what is the reason for the adhisthana. So this verse, Trishu Dhama Suyat Bhojan, is saying that unless you can see that clearly that you are the adhisthana, these problems will continue. So this is the main thing. And I will, if time permitting, I'll go into more details. But now, as I promised, let us do a meditation on this. Okay? As you know, a Vedantic meditation called Nididhyasana is something very, very unique in the various types of meditation. And it is defined as any dhyanam, any focused attempt for samadhi with a difference. Nididhyasanam is dhyanam with a difference. It means The nature of the Atma is very involved as part of the dhyana. You know the steps to prepare for nididhyasana. The first step, as a revision, you all know this, is a sankalpa. Sankalpa to yourself and to your own instruments, such as your instruments of knowledge, of action, and the mind. You tell all of them to obey, to support you in the next few minutes. I want to meditate on the Atma. The second step in the preparation for nididhyasana is to focus on the one sense organ which is common throughout your body, which is the sense of touch. Feel the touch of your feet resting on the floor. Feel the touch of your legs and back touching the chair. Feel the touch of your hands clasping each other in your lap. And feel the touch of your eyelashes touching each other. You can even disengage the eyelashes for just 5 seconds. Close them again. The next step is to see the status of any tension in your body. Start from one end and pause when you see and feel any tension. Help it relax. The next step is to see your breathing, to notice your breathing. The breath is a beautiful way to feel the presence of Ishvara. How the air outside is effortlessly absorbed and then expelled. There is the outside, and then there is you. They are working seamlessly. Just observe that. Now, we will begin the Nididhyasana. Observe that as an individual, what things you are dependent on. To see anything, consider what you need. If you want to see your cell phone, on a table, you need some light. You need a functioning set of eyes. You need your mind as an individual. So my life consists of transacting in these four elements. You are the knower of the table. Now consider this. You as the knower and the experiencer, not just seeing things, but hearing, touching, walking, and so on. You need help. You need these instruments, the various phenomena, devatas. You need your personal instruments. And you need your status as an individual. Your life is a series of experiences where these combinations occur in various ways. Now thinking, now acting, now feeling, now dreaming, now sleeping, now walking. Now see the following. You, the Atma, what does it need to be? Do you need the sun to see yourself? Do you need functioning eyes to tell who you are? blind person not know the Atma? Do you need the mind? The mind needs you to function. You don't need the mind. You are independent of all the ingredients of experiencing. You exist independent of anything. You don't need food to survive. You are aware of your own existence. You don't depend on the world to tell you who you are. The world needs you. The Atma is you. As a jiva, it is also you. You can choose to remain a jiva for your entire life, dependent, changing. Or you can choose to be the Atma, which you already are. There's no gathering. You don't need to do anything. You just need to recognize you are and therefore can be independent of the world. You are the basis, the adhisthana of your experiences. The experiences need you. You only need the world if you choose to be a jiva. Like the Upanishad says, there are two birds sitting on the same tree. One is an experiencer, and the other one just watches the experiencer. They are not two birds. You are both of them. It is purely your choice. Yam vrinute. Tasya esha vivrinute. Make this choice as soon as possible. And don't let go of it. You will recognize the presence of Ishvara, which is the form of infinity, complete, Satchit Ananda, not later, but now. It is your choice. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This Viveka of the Adhisthana is not that difficult to do. So it's interesting, the entire teaching of Vedanta is not to tell you that you are a Sakshi, is not to tell you that you are. That's obvious. Anybody can know it. You don't need that. Even a child knows that I'm seeing things, I'm the seer of things. The child knows it. You don't need Vedanta to tell you this. But what Vedanta shows you, which is something which people cannot see without teaching, is Anantam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Satyam you can tell, Jnanam you can tell, Anantam you cannot tell. And the Anantam is something you have to just grab onto. Because then, as we said earlier, that once you see this, then you know that your own thoughts of yourself changing is due to your not being honest with yourself. And this is why all which is very important is that Viveka means nothing until you have Vairagya. Nothing. In fact, it means you are fooling everybody, including yourself. So Vivekananda says, he says, you know, I see this, people will say, be pure, think of good things, be honest, you know, this is what it is, and so on and so forth. And yet you go out and make silly, you know, you get angry, you make shortcuts, you lie. He says, you think that this is, Ishvara is not aware of this? And who's the damaging, who damages? Yourself. So it's interesting, at one point he was, and I thought I would do this just in the next few minutes and then we can open it up for question and answers. He said, you know, people will say, oh yeah, you know, I'm studying and I'm a viragi, this is what I want to do, this is focused and so on. Are you really? So Swami Kandananda says, you know, I see 6 things in people that would give me a sign that there is Vairagya in this person, which means that the Viveka is real. That means your choice is genuine. It's not false. 6 things. So, if you want to just note of this, number 1 is the intensity of your emotions, desires, disappointments, intolerance, all these kinds of. So they will be there for a short time, you know, it will be there in some form or the other, but see if you are reducing it or not. Because if you're not, then you're not doing vairagya. This is number one. The second one is, are the sense organs leading you, or are you leading the sense organs? Your own indriya. And examples of that is, sense organ says, I want to have good food, tasty food. How often do you want to have tasty food? Every day. You know, Swami Kalyananda says that Ekadashi Vrat is a very beautiful thing. Because in Ekadashi, you know what Ekadashi means? 11 is 11 days. So these are the 10 sense organs, 10 organs of action, and the mind. You have to deny it every now and then. Then, you know, don't do it for dieting. Just say, today I'm not going to eat anything. It's interesting how these things occur. I used to usually have 2 rotis. All the time I was growing up. 2 rotis. My wife would have 1 roti, I'll have 2 rotis. This is about 10 years ago. I said, you know, why am I eating 2 rotis? Shouldn't I just have 1? And it took me a little while. I graduated to 1 roti. About a year back, I said, why can't I just do with half a roti? Now, Pammi and I divided. She eats 1/2, I eat the other. I'm telling you, this is the truth. Once in a while, if I'm very hungry, then I eat a full roti. And so, you know, why is this important? Swami Dayananda used to say that. He says, if you don't lead your sense organs, forget about anything else. Your own self-confidence and your own self-evaluation suffers. I can't. You can't even control your own mind. You can't control your sense organs. Where are you? How are you going to do that? Anyway, so the second vairagya is reduce your following of your organs, sense organs, your instruments. You tell them, okay, I wouldn't mind having good food once in a while, but just dal roti is enough for me. Number 3, have the ability to tolerate problems. How much do you complain when there are problems in your life? It's okay to complain because of problems. You're not welcoming problems. But you know, it's interesting. Problems are a gift of God. Especially those of you that have had major issues in your life. Your spouse is dying, and this, that, or the other. There are major problems, but there are major good things that happen from it, because you don't follow things that are you're not dependent on things. You become more independent. So really speaking, the toleration of problems is number 3. This is Swami Akhandananda says, because you know they come and go. But if you get involved with, you know, this is even if there is a pain in the body, your mind can really overcome it. Just say, okay, so it is there, so what am I going to do about it? If it is hot, if it is cold, let it go. It's okay. So that's number 3. Fourth one is very important for our this kind of community. Reduce unnecessary activities. And the first part of doing all of this is just be aware of that. Just close your eyes and say, what am I doing? What is my day going to be like? What am I doing? My friends told me, let's go here. Is that necessary? What does it do for me? You know what's interesting? At the end of this, I can just tell you one test. Because for me also, this has been a gradual kind of a thing. It's not like, oh, and I have not even arrived yet. I'm still going, but it's getting better. I'll tell you the final test. The final test is you are honest with yourself. Am I having enough fun with myself without anybody else? And the answer will be yes. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to go anywhere. Honestly, I'm just telling you this. There was a time when I thought teaching was a very important part of my life. I don't think so anymore. I don't have to teach. I am just sitting there quietly. And that comes from a choice. And yet, on the other hand, if my family comes up and says, Dad, we're just going there as a family, I said, absolutely. I don't say, no, this is bad or anything. But I don't initiate anything. I don't initiate. Let it happen. Whatever happens, happens. We will see this more when we examine Omkara. How Omkara is so important, understanding. We'll do that later on. So that's number 4. Number 5. This is also very important. Don't think you have become a big scholar. Don't think you have become a big scholar. Abhimana. I tell you, I see this even amongst Swamis. They are so good at what they talk about. They speak well, they are articulate, they write books. More books, the better. But they are not sannyasis. They are not sannyasis, they are scholars. It's very rare to find a scholar that doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to teach. He's just content. You have to pry him up. He says, can you please tell me this? And 80% of the Swamis that you see are very good scholars, but they're not sannyasis. So this Abhimana, that I'm doing very well, now I know Shankara Bhashya, now I know Sanskrit, I know this and not that. Where does that leave you? Are you happy? Number 5. Number 6 now. That was number 5. Focus on where you are going without any distractions. Be single-minded. I'll do that tomorrow, but today let me just watch television. It's really sad actually in some ways, you know. I brought up all my kids in watching sports. I was myself a very big sports person. And we used to go to the Giants games and so on. So my younger son all remembers that very well. And I used to enjoy that. Now he has kids. Sanya and Arjun, they go to the Giants games. They just went last night. There were so many times. They'll come in and say, Papa, I went to, did you know this? Did you see the game? And I don't do it. I don't watch any games anymore. I know TV. The only TV that I would watch is when the 49ers play. And that's only because they play 15 games. And only there also, if the score is out, you know, it is too much, then I don't watch it anymore. If it is interesting, then I will eat and I'll watch it for a little while. Gone. It's not as though I don't like it, but I don't need it. I'm happy with myself. That's it. So really speaking of focus, anytime I have a chance, do you know I'm reading Drikdrishya Viveka for 5 times? And every time I underline new things that I had not. In fact, by the way, let me just tell you, after the next topic that I'm going to take is Omkara, which will take a few months. After that, I will go back to Drikdrishya Viveka. There is no text that is so pertinent, so focused, especially with Swami Akhandananda's books on it. And for those of you that are Hindi speaking, we must get his books. Just incredible. So then I will just switch over to, and I promised that when we went to Sailorsburg anyway, I haven't finished that, so I will go back to it. I enjoy the study and until my family needs me, and then I'm okay. But after myself, I don't want to go anywhere, I don't want to do anything. You know why? Not because I'm being proud or anything. There's nothing that gives me that satisfaction of knowing the presence of Ishvara in myself. Just amazing. So this is Vairagya. And I think we need to, it needs to be that until you choose, it's not gonna, nothing is going to happen. But anyway, I thought I'd talk a little bit more about that. All right, so I think what I will do is now stop. So let me just say a small prayer, then I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadar Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om. Yes, sir.
Okay. We were talking about one of the things to get to the Adhisthana is to look only in the Paramarthika stuff. Whereas most of the time when you're dealing with Vyavaharika stuff, you'll find the difference, you'll find changes, you'll find other things. But if you're in the Paramarthika mindset, then everything should be pretty straightforward.
So that's, you're just telling me something. What's your question?
No, that's the question. Is it my understanding
Yeah.
correct?
So the question is that we in Paramarthika Sat, the Adhisthana is changeless, but in Vyavaharika Sat, it is changing and so on. Is this the same thing? Yes, of course. But you know, I think what I would say is that very sooner than later, you have to translate these fancy terms, Vyavaharika Sat, Paramarthika Sat, which looks intellectually very nice. We've got two of them. I can make a distinction. Do you know the difference between Paramarthika Sat and Paramarthika Sat? Oh, no, I don't know. Well, I know it. Let me explain it to you. This is one thing. But to reduce it down to what you are seeing is the real thing. So, I'll tell you why. Because what really helped me was the detail, the viveka, that as if Vyavaharika Sat, which is Jiva is a Vyavaharika Sat. What do you need to be yourself? You are very dependent. But you don't need it if you see that you are the Atma, which is the Paramarthika Sat. So I would say that, generally speaking, not just for your question, I think what we need to reduce is all these fancy words and concepts and so on into exactly how am I behaving, what my life is about, where am I? And if you do that, with the help of the teaching, of course, you'll find results are a lot faster. You will see your life changing because it is no longer pedantic, it is no longer textual, no longer dependent on something else, but it reduces down to how you are and what you see. That'd be my advice. Yeah. Kalpana?
So, yeah, similar thing, like when I think about it, it's easy for me to see that I'm not changing, because from childhood to now, the body has been changing. I was jumping up and down, and now I have to walk with a stick or whatever. And people that I knew are gone, parents are gone, people come and go. Everything in the world is coming and going, and I have been seeing all of that. So it's easy for me to see that I'm not changing. Even my thoughts, my emotions, I can witness it, right? So it's easy for me that I'm not changing. So it's like a sthita prajna, but then these are the good points that you gave us to kind of monitor whether this thought that I have or this knowledge I have, am I converting it to really in my life by kind of constantly watching where I am within these 6 points, right? So how do I get there?
Yeah. So Kalpana, the way was talking about, just generally speaking, the fact that she's aware of the fact that life changes, people come, people die, and so on and so forth, and yet, we have to focus on the fact that we are not changing, and the vairagya that we talked about, she says this will be helpful, and so on and so forth. So what I would say is, yes, of course, all of this. But I think one very important thing that I would like to point out, which I probably have not done as much as I should have, So what happens is, and I think I kind of hinted at it, remember the 3 concentric circles that I talked about?
Yes, I was going to ask.
So there was the outer layer which is changing very fast, which is, the people coming and dying and so on and so forth. Then the second one is your own instruments. You find that your eyes are not as powerful as they used to be, but they're still there, not changing as much. That your mind also is, or the second layer. The third layer is what is really confusing. The third layer is me as a jiva, as a person. Okay? So I don't give enough thought to that. So what needs to happen is, based on what you were just saying, Kalpana, that yes, it's relatively easy to see that the world is changing, and I shouldn't really be too attached to that. It is also easier to see that my own instruments are failing. I'm getting older. Excuse me. That's easier to see. What is difficult to see is that my jivatvam is confusing me because I'm clinging on to it. Because I am comfortable in being relatively independent as a jiva. Why? Because I can do anything I want to. I have my life. People like me. I have friends. All of that. This looks like a secure thing. Not enough. You have to give that up also. Also has to be given up. And you cannot give it up until you have adhisthana. And so, the Atma is completely non-changing because that is the Swarupa. The Jiva is almost not changing, and it confuses me because I'm very comfortable with it. So what needs to happen is that you need to take the next step. In fact, we'll discuss it more. Our entire life's problem is that we have already taken birth as a jiva. So from now on, the whole world is around me. And the fact that I'm going to die is unfortunate, but I don't know what else to do. And I'm unwilling to really give that up. It is also vairagya. The vairagya is that even though I look real and so on and so forth, it isn't. Even this is not real. It is something much more real than that. And that can be if you are willing to go to that step. Because we don't. We stop at saying, this is a very interesting thing. Swami Dayanand has given a lot of commentary on this. Verse number 63 of the Bhagavad Gita, I think 63 or 65. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam patrebhya mokshishyami napacha. So there's a lot of question. Why is Sri Krishna saying sarva dharman? You can say sarva karman. But dharma is something very beautiful. So I feel that I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I don't lie. I've got all these vairagya things and so on and so forth. I'm okay. I'm good. Not enough. You have to give up even. So this is why it is said that both bad and good things have to be given up. Because good things, which is dharma, will entrap you, will attract you. You will feel good about it. But you're fooling yourself because you haven't reached what you really need to do. So that would be my kind of like an additional thing, that you cannot dislike yourself, but you have to mistrust yourself. I don't trust. I want to go. This is where the recognition of Ishvara, because Ishvara is also waiting. He's happy with this himself. Why should I bother him? I think this is what all the Vedanta says, that this is the, we'll go into this when we study the Omkara. Omkara, Om means okay. Means okay. Whatever you say is okay. So if you say, I just want to be a good person. I don't want to do some Atma and all this. I don't know what that is. I just want to be a good person. Ishvara says, okay, good. Stay there. But if you start to feel, my God, this is not enough, because I'm going to die. Good person is going to come to an end. Is this my lot? Ishvara says, at least you are starting. Okay, inquire into it. Are you serious? Well, I'm kind of, no, you're not serious. Not serious. So it is the last layer, which is Turiya, in the Mandukya Upanishad, the one which is common in all of the experiences, and yet it is needed in all the experiences. That jnanam, that turiya, that so-called fourth one, is the one that I must search for. Where is it? How is that different from me? What does it do for me? Is it going to give me any happiness? All these have to be explored. And if you just keep it and say, okay, well, I'm just reading Upanishads, it says this, that, or the other, that's not enough. You have to really examine it. Ronnie?
So my question is related to the 6 points that Swami Akhandananda pointed out, are kind of points towards somebody getting more vairagya and detached from life.
It's a sign. It's a sign of where are you going,
So one of the things that many of us as grihas kind of struggle with, although many of these points with constant study and as we age, we are getting more towards like not as much attached to food, not as much, more even with emotions. But one of the things that many of us are more, find it harder to give up and are more attached to is moho. And moho meaning more attachment and identification with children and family, things like that, right? And love is one thing and moho is another thing, there's no expectations, etc. How does one kind of get away from that, and is that kind of folded into 1 and 2?
So Rani Goel's question is that in looking at the points of the Vairagya, she can understand that, but there's also moha, which is an attachment, not just love, but attachment. How does towards children and so on? What does it have to do to get out of that? Very good question, and lots to talk about there. One very interesting thing, very simple thing to talk about, and you actually pointed that out, the difference between love and attachment. This is a very beautiful thing. I can't remember who made it clear. I think it was Swami Maheshananji who made it clear about 10-12 years ago. And I must say that this has become useful to me in advising some people who were very upset about the death of their close ones. This has happened in my life. Several people have approached me. And I have really given them this distinction. So there's a difference between love and attachment. Very simple. Love is for the benefit of somebody else. Attachment is the benefit of yourself. You are upset that other person may not be helpful. May not be helped, not helpful, but may not be helped as much by your actions. But you want not to be upset. You don't want to be upset, so you just want to do anything to get rid of it. So this is all part of it. Anyway, this is just a very simple thing. So the larger answer to Ronnie's question is a very important one. That what really holds us back, I would say this is, the acharyas will often use two words, me and mine. They go together. And so I think that this is a good question because the me is the jiva. But the mind also is part of the jivatva. So there we all struggle, including myself. It's not as though I don't, but I'm getting better at it. So my advice would be, again, make the distinction between the normal love for your children and grandchildren and excessive attachment to them. Nobody says that you should not have love for anybody, for children and so on. But if you get upset about your own children not doing well or falling sick or something, it is unnatural. This is why, our teachers also say that don't take care of the entire world. Let the Ishvara take care of it. If there are floods, if there's fires and so on, if you can help to a certain degree, do it. But it's not your job to be upset. So, what my advice would be that along with me and also include mine and be as free from it as possible. So here's what I would say. If they really need you for something, fulfill their needs. But if you say something that I want you to do this and so on, you don't need to. If their parents are there, let them take care of it. And have a much more balanced view towards all children, not just your own children, to the extent possible. So it's not as though it is impossible, but not easy to get rid of it. Finally, the advice given by the acharyas is, if you start to look at the world as Ishvara does, you're done. Because in their eyes, there is nothing outside. And in fact, these are more advanced lectures, more advanced topics. Eventually you will see, I'm not even going that far yet, because I think we haven't really done that. The entire world is your own projection. In fact, it is you.
That's very well explained in Mandukya Upanishad.
as in all our places, not just in Mandukya. Ishavasya. Talking of Ishavasya, I just happened to read a verse from it this morning, which is so beautiful. It's just amazing. It says, Hiranya Rupena, Hiranya Mayena Patrena Abhihitam Satyasya Mukham Tattvam Pushan Apavrinu Satya Dharmaya Prishtaya. Swami Akhandananda has clarified it in my mind so well, out of Digdashya Viveka, when I was reading that. I'll talk about it sometimes. Very beautiful. Very important verse. Yes, sir.
So, in the end, we don't need to push the appearance aside. We have to say, once I can see that I am the one behind everything, let the appearance be there, because I don't need to push it away for any reason.
No, you don't. Absolutely not. So the question is, once you see the world as an appearance, there's no need to push it aside. No, absolutely not. No way. You can't do that anyway. So why even? So that's the distinction between Advaita Vedanta and all other schools of thought. Because a lot of the other schools of thought are that unless you can just detach yourself from what is happening, you do into an infinite samadhi, or you become an Ishvara Bhakta, you're just sitting in a temple, praying all the time, chanting or so on, you're not going to really have, this is not what we talk about. It's much more intelligent, much more mature, that once, the example given is that if you understand that the Akasha can never be blue, can you stop enjoying the blueness of the Akasha? No, of course not. So, no, let it be, but you have a different view of it. In this case, because I don't know myself as well as I should, I become confused by the apparent reality of the world. If I understand that it is my reality that I am imparting, I enjoy it. That the world will never displace my anantata. Lots to be talked about. The understanding of anantata is a very beautiful thing and not easy. But once, anantata also means adhisthana. That once it is done, then your view of the world changes a lot. Yeah. Chaula?
Everything you said is like particularly my growth. I can watch and see the reaction. And it's less and less and less. But as long as you are in Vyavhara, transaction happens, things gonna happen, everything. So to see that change, I step back and don't react right away, don't say anything right away. So that step is always gonna be with you.
Yeah.
I always wonder about that.
No, I'm not sure that I completely understand your question. You're saying that even after you understand who you are and so on, your reticence in terms of vyavahara, of a pressure to behave properly will always be there.
No, not so much of a pressure, but like we are talking.
Okay.
And even asking question. But what I'm saying is even every situation or everything what I'm projecting, I know that I'm projecting the world, that's why world exists. But to put that in Adhisthana, the thought before something happens, then I have to react to what is Adhisthana of. Why am I worrying? Why am I reacting? Why am I, you know what I'm saying? So Vyavhara, you are acting, but that thought is there.
What
before
thought is
you
there?
put-
What
Before
thought?
you think about Adhisthana, that's what I'm saying.
No, that means it's not clear. You see, here's the thing. Swami Maheshananji had given this very beautiful example. He said, suppose you are, and he was talking in terms of an Indian housewife who's newly married. Honeymoon is still going on. The fights have not yet started. Love is very much, okay, is there. So this husband goes away on business and she's really missing him. And these were the days when you don't have cell phones and all that, okay? There's only a memory, okay? Now in her house, she's living with her in-laws. And her mother-in-law is the mother-in-law. Why didn't you do this? You were supposed to do this. And you have fights and you have this, that, or the other. Deep down below, she has a memory of her loved one, my husband. He's going to be back. And if she keeps that memory at the back of her mind, nothing will bother her. Let the mother-in-law be that she's the way she is, it's okay, it's all right. She's singing a song. She's reading his letter. You know, this is what needs to happen to us. So it's not as though Ishvara is going to be present in front of you. He knows that he's with you. And anything that happens, what the thoughts about your transactions, problems, and so on and so forth, at the back of your mind you say, oh my God, I can't believe who I am. This is incredible. You wink at Ishvara. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. And then you keep on working, whatever it is. What did you say? Okay, what is it? Deep down below, you know who you are. If that has not yet become clear, get to that point. That's it.
Do we need to circulate the sign-up sheet?
Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah, please. That'd be a great thing to do. What time do we have? Oh, we have only 12. We have another half hour to go. Yes, sir. Vikram.
So, just maybe a bookish question, maybe. So the 6 signs you talked about, most of them seem to be, Shamadamani, Tarka
Yes.
Except for the don't identify with being scholarly. That seems to be a little out of place. Do you think there is a reason Swamiji said that, or maybe he was in his atmosphere?
So let me see. I'll have to see Shamadama, Uparama, Samadhanam, Tatiksha.
Like for example, ability to tolerate problems seems to be
You know where it might be? Mukshutvam.
Mukshutvam? Okay.
Because as long as you're an abhimani, you stay within as a jiva. You have to give up jiva also. So that's where I think it would be.
A scholar is ahankara.
Scholar says ahankara.
Abhimana.
Abhimana. Yeah.
When talk about having a vision of Ishvara, are you referring to actually having a real vision or seeing your Ishtadevata or seeing ourselves as Ishvara?
So, Kalpana has a question that when you talk about the vision of Ishvara, are you looking at it as something like an Ishtadevata in front of you that gives you the blessing or not? No, I'm not. Because the vision of Ishvara as a Sarvavyapi has to be understood. And what is often talked about in our Shastra is that when a beggar comes to your house to beg, that is Ishvara. You have to see that person. You have to help somebody. And there's nothing else that will come. So as I was saying earlier, that the way Ishvara looks at the whole life. So Ishvara's vision is that, hey, you are okay the way you are. And you've made a life because of your previous vasanas where you are engaged with the world as an individual, which is fine, but there's something more to it. It is not just a world in front of you. You are the whole thing. See the completeness of it. And this is the way I look at it. And so if you do that, this is where Mandukya gives a very good, and the Mandukya gives, I think I mentioned that before you go to the 7th verse, which is Nantapragyam, Bahishpragyam, etc., you have to go through Matra and Pada. You have to go through 3 stages. So first of all, you have to go that I am not the Vishwa, I am in fact the Virat. Similarly, I am not the Sukshma Sharira, I am the Hiranyagarbha. And though I am not just the ignorance, I am the entire Ishvara that understands it. So all those are intermediate steps. But the end of that is Omkara. Because then you have both the relative reality as well as the absolute reality all rolled into one. And you must have the Viveka to distinguish between them. So to answer your question, no. It is, really speaking, a trust in your own Atma. This is where Ishvara. This is a very important thing we will talk about it. The Lakshana of Ishvara cannot be without including you. You must see yourself as depicting the Lakshanas of Ishvara. And that comes with a acceptance of yourself and a revelation of yourself. Yeah, both of them.
It's on the same point. So the thought within Advaita Vedanta is there is no separate Ishvara. You are Ishvara yourself, right? It's just a point of being able to realize that into your Antaratma that is the same. When you have Ashvara Darshan, it's actually going to be that you see that space within yourself. However, a lot of the lectures and a lot of the wording used by many teachers is confusing. It's a Ishvara knows. Well, who's that Ishvara? That's you yourself, your own Atma, right? And that's where we're trying to get to within ourselves. And that's kind of what the Turiya is. Like, you are very happy in Sushupti. It's a state of extreme Ananda. However, all your sense organs and everything is disengaged. And the Vishwa has gone away and Swapna has gone away. The end of your Jagrat state, at the end of your Swapna state, what remains is that Ananda, is that Sushupti. That same state, but with senses, but knowing that Ananda is what Turiya is. So
Right.
You're Anant Anandam, but you're not sleeping, you're not sort of unconscious, right? And that is the state where, when you know that, is the Ishvara state. Isn't that sort of correct? So you reach that, and that's sort of the darshana you're looking for, is that darshana within yourself, that state.
Yeah, so the question from Rani is that the observation in question that Ishvara, follow up to Kalpana's earlier assertion, how do you see Ishvara? The reason I would like, and Rani had mentioned that many of the teachers will talk about Ishvara as a separate person who will give you the diksha and etc. So the reason to see, actually what you're talking about is a very common discussion in India. So this is the difference between Brahman and Ishvara. Okay, Brahman is Atma, but Ishvara is considered to be a projection, not a reality. And so people that are following the Brahma Vakya, they say, don't talk about Ishvara, you are it. Don't do that. The other round is, really speaking, it's only Ishvara, you are not there. Okay? So what needs to, given these kinds of confusions, what I think needs to be, and I just give you my own life and so on and so forth, without submitting to a higher power, you will not understand your anantata. Why? Because same issue. You are happy with yourself as a person, with some problems here and there, but generally you are saying, I'm okay. You're not going to give that up until something more is available to you. That is Ishvara. When the Ishvara himself will disappear as you, once that understanding takes place. That is really what needs to happen. So in my life also, I went through this kind of a thing. Who needs Ishvara? I'm good by myself. And there are a lot of teachers that teach that. It is confusing. I agree with that. It isn't until you have some Mahatmas that talk about the subtleties of that, how you need to both have confidence in yourself, but also to give up your identity itself. That becomes very transactional. That's not the case with us right now. I'm not transactional, I'm the real stuff. The whole world is around me. False. And so until you submit to the higher power, which you did not create, then the reality will finally come to you. It needs more discussion, obviously, than this. Yes, sir.
So, you talk about the Kathopanishad, the mantra, Nayamatma, Valvahine. So the last part, the way I understand what you explained, that without Ishvara Krupa, you are not going to go there. Is that right?
Well, what it means is, yes, something like that. It says, choose your own self, and if you do sincerely, don't fool anybody. But, oh yeah, I'm studying, I'm okay. You choose your sense of freedom sincerely. You're desperate. This is what mumukshutvam is. You know, I think Swami Viditatmananda had given this very example. I'll come back to your point. He says, you know, and it was Gautam Buddha who had said this, that if somebody hits you with an arrow, that you don't ask, who gave this to, who did this to me? I'm going to punish that person. How did this come to me? You don't do that. You immediately get well right now and forget about punishing somebody else later. Take the arrow out and stem the blood flow. Do that right now. So, to come back to your question, what it says is, if you choose to be the reality that you are, then your anantata, your infinity, the fact that there is Advaita, will open up for you. Both. What is the last one? There is a Vrinoti. Where is it? I think I had it written down somewhere. Tanugum Swam. Yeah, that Vivrinoti. Yes. So it's all about beautiful Sanskrit. Varanam means to choose. Vivaranam means to open up. And one of the acharyas, I forget who it was, probably Swami Maheshananji, this was a long time ago. A beautiful thing. They talk about marriage and sex and so on and so forth as an example. In this verse they said, until you choose a person and get married, your spouse will not embrace you naked. They will always have clothes on, and that's not their real form. It's only when you choose to get married that it becomes open. Tell you, I can see the truth of that. That you just have to, by your life, your actions, your attitudes, your study, you have to say, none of that. I want you. If you are sincere about it, then passages become visible. Teachers appear to you. You know, this is, if I look at my life, how it has evolved, Swami Chinmayanandaji, because it was based on where I was. I was not ready. Then Swami Dayanandaji came. Swami Maheshanandaji came. And now Swami Akhandananda is, I think, the best for me at this time. But those passages were not even, I was reading the same thing, but nothing was happening to me. Now, the revelation is much clearer to me. Not quite there yet, but a lot clearer. So it is, you can say the same thing as Ishwara's blessing. So this is what I was saying earlier, that the Lakshana of Ishwara can only be in you, because that is the very basis of it. But not the jivatvam as the Atma. So you have to give up the jivatvam also as part of that. You think this sequence was better, the way we did it?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think we need to have more time to kind of, it's hard to do this on, by email, or this has to be, and you have to see where I am too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very happy that we get together. Yeah.
This is not a question, this is just a request. You said you would be taking some more discourse about Omkara. but can you also take some more classes on life being a projection, just a more clarity on how to look at it and understand that concept?
What's your native language?
So Hindi is, I can understand.
Okay, here's my advice. I may not have time to do that, quite frankly, okay? Because I'm getting older, I have a family, I'm supporting Aim for Seva. I can't take that many classes, so this is going to be. But I have an advice for you. Get hold of Swami Akandananda's books right now. Start reading it from page 1.
Which ones? Which one? Yeah.
Start getting Drisya Viveka. Or get any of those. There's so many of them. If you want to get Mandukya Karika, and it all depends on how much time you have. But Drisya Viveka would be a very good one. I think we need to maybe get some copies from India. I don't know if anybody is going there, but I think we need to. I think your friend was going to Vrindavan, the one who, what's her name, who came to Salzburg with us?
Go to Vrindavan? Oh, Lata Kacholia?
Lata Kacholia. I think.
She's going to India in a couple of months. I'll ask
Perfect.
her. I'll ask her where she's going. I think she's
Tell her to get 20 copies.
I'll ask her if she's going to Vrindavan. She's going to Bombay, but I'll ask her if she is going.
She was telling me that she wants to go to Vrindavan and she knows about it.
We can always
Guruji, Bombay,
Yeah.
they have a.
If she's going to Bombay, she can get it from Bombay.
Yeah,
I'll ask
because
them.
I got all the books.
All the books from
Bombay.
him.
Yeah, there is a store for stuff.
Yeah.
I'll check with her and see if she's willing to.
Okay. But anyway, that's what you need to do. Just go step by step, one thing at a time. Even that may be a bit too advanced. If you send me your an email, then I will go through some of his books. So do that. Yeah. All right, we will see when we will meet again and on what topic. But it was nice. Good to see you. So I think that also depends on, I believe that in September we may have to go to the next one. I'll let you know because I think that was not available. So we have to figure out what's available, what is not. Yeah.
Is everyone signed?
Guru Diksha many, but thank you so much. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. We're going to be going for lunch again today?
We can.
Okay.
Sure. Let's do that. Absolutely.
I
Maybe
think the only catch was.
we want to ask if some others want to join. We didn't go last 2 times because people were.
Yeah, ask. Some of us are going across the street for a lunch. If anybody wants to join. Some of us are going across the street for lunch. If you want to join us, you're welcome to do that.